As they say, time is money, and in today's video, we're gonna talk about 3 tools that you should be using in 2022 to help you save time in After Effects. I use these 3 tools on a regular basis, and they have quickly paid themselves off with the amount of time they have saved me. I've left the links to each tool in the description for you to check out, and without further ado, let's get started. Okay, in the spirit of full transparency, some of the links in the description are going to be affiliate links. However, I do use these tools on a regular basis, and because I like these tools, I sought out those affiliate relationships rather than the other way around. So you know, when I recommend these tools, it's because I really like them and I think that they can help you. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's get started. Now, first up, we have Overlord. Now, if you've ever watched any of my recent videos or any of my live streams, you know that I stand for Overlord hard. Let's take, for example, this scene right here with these 2 characters. Now, this could be a scene I downloaded from the internet, or it could be something that a designer has handed off to me and now I need to animate. Now, I wanna bring in this scene to After Effects, but I wanna have full control over all the different elements in this scene. In order to do that, I need all these different elements to be brought into After Effects on separate layers. But in Illustrator right now, all these elements are on one layer. So if I'm going to do this the conventional way, I would select all these different shapes and release to layers, then drag all these shapes out of the original layer. Now, this is already way more complicated than it should be, and we're not even in After Effects yet. Now, if you look at the layer stack, I have nearly 200 layers, so I'm gonna have to simplify this scene before I bring it into After Effects, or else I'm gonna be overwhelmed. So I'll have to spend some time grouping things together. Now, with Overlord, I don't have to do any of that. I don't have to release to layers. I can keep everything on one layer. All I have to do is select the shapes that I wanna bring over to After Effects and then hit this little button right here. Now, with just that example, you can see already that Overlord is a lot quicker and easier to use than the conventional way. But there's a few more things I love about Overlord. If I want to have more control over my layers and, for example, be able to change the color or animate the shape path, I have to convert the Illustrator files to After Effects shape layers. Let's take this little couch here, for example. I'm going to convert it to a shape layer. Watch what happens when I do. All of a sudden, the back of the couch turns this muted gray. And that's because in Illustrator, I applied a gradient to the back of the couch. The gradient will not translate, which means it will fill it in with a solid fill, and you'll have to recreate that gradient, which means you'll have to add a gradient fill and then select the colors of the gradient, reposition the gradient. Now, if you have an Illustrator scene full of gradients, you're gonna spend a lot of time recreating all those gradients. With Overlord, however, all I have to do is select that couch, which I've already grouped up, hit this button right here, and boom, when we switch back over to After Effects, I've got my couch, I've got my gradient, I don't have to reconstruct anything. Now, there's another problem that happens when you convert Illustrator files to shape layers in After Effects, and it's illustrated really well with this character on the left. If I convert this character to shapes, you'll see that the bounding box is actually the size of my composition. And that's because when After Effects converts Illustrator files to shape layers, for whatever reason, it adds an extra path the size of the artboard of Illustrator to every single shape group. And since this character is made up of a bunch of different shapes, I have to go into each and every one of those groups and delete this extra path. That's a whole bunch of time wasted. If I use Overlord, I just select the character, hit this button, and boom, the character comes over all nice and clean, no extra path. Here's the deal. If you're somebody who does a lot of explainer videos, or you just work a lot with Illustrator files in After Effects, or if you're somebody who's been avoiding Illustrator because of the aforementioned pain of bringing Illustrator files over to After Effects, then you gotta give Overlord a shot because it will revolutionize your workflow from Illustrator to After Effects. The next tool we're gonna look at is Motion 3. This is a tool that has a bunch of different tools that are included with it. And there's honestly too many to go over in this video, but I wanted to call out a few things about this tool that I think are potential huge time savers for you. The first is the easing tool. These little sliders can be used to quickly apply custom easing to your selected keyframes. Motion also comes with a couple of presets that are different from the default easy ease motion that you would get by just hitting F9 on your keyboard. However, the biggest time saver that Motion 3 offers is its ability to focus your workspace. So for those of you who constantly find yourselves working in compositions with a ton of layers, listen up, because this feature can be really useful for you. To use this, just select the layers you're currently working with that you want to see, and then click on the focus mode, and Motion will hide all the other layers you're not working on. Then you can make your adjustments, you can make your animations, and when you're done, you can just click on this little button to the right and all your layers will be visible to you again. Now here's the really cool thing. You can actually group layers together so that you can choose a group of layers that you want to focus in on. So say for example, I have this character rig right here and I just want to work on the legs. I can group the leg layers and their associated controller layers into a group, and then I can activate focus mode based on that group, make my adjustments, and then return to the full view. If I find that I want to make more adjustments to the legs, I can return to that specific focus group super fast because I've grouped them together. So that's just a little peek into what Motion 3 can help you do and how it can help you save time. I think that this focus mode is worth the price of this script alone. That's not even to mention all these tools that I didn't even talk about, which help you do some really cool things. If you guys are interested in a deep dive into Motion 3, let me know in the comment section below, and I will plan a video in the future where we dive into some of these other tools. If you want to grab yourself a copy of Motion 3, there's a link down in the description below, just like with all these other tools. Okay, next we have a tool called Mobar. And Mobar is probably the tool we'll spend the most time talking about in today's video because it has the most that it includes. Now, there are so many tools, I won't even be able to scratch the surface on everything you can do with Mobar. And to be frank, I'm still exploring everything you can do with Mobar, but I have used it enough that there's a couple time-saving tools that I want to highlight in this video that I think you should know about so that you can go check out Mobar. The tools in Mobar are categorized by function, and each of these icons has a sub-menu containing all the tools in that category. Mobar has menus for shape layers, text layers, animations, expressions, guides, keyframe organization, layer management, layer selections, project organization, and search. If you were to break Mobar into all its different tools and compare them to what is available on a marketplace like AE Scripts, for example, there are probably a couple $100 worth of tools included in just this one tool. First, let's start with selection tools. There are options to select layers based on just about any set of parameters you can think of. Combining this with the focus mode of Motion 3 script we just went over, it has the potential to be super powerful. Next, the view menu. The view menu has several different tools to save you time. You can quickly change the background color of your composition, which will save you several click journey through the composition settings window. You can also save a quick screenshot from this menu of your composition. The expressions menu. These are perhaps my most used tools. The enable and disable expression buttons are extremely useful when working with Duix sliders. I can disable expressions on several layers all in one click rather than twirling open the menus to manually disable the expressions one by one, layer by layer. Then I can re-enable them once my adjustments are made, all with one click. Super awesome. These are among my favorite tools so far with Mobar. Shapes menu. You can add controllers to your effects control panel window with this trim paths effect, so I don't have to twirl open my shape layer to get to my trim paths property. Trim paths is probably one of the most used shape effectors in After Effects, and so this simple little tool is a huge time saver. Can I just say I loathe twirling open endless menus on shape layers. So anytime I find a tool that helps me not have to do that is a big win for me. In this menu, there's also the constant stroke width that you can apply to a shape layer, which will keep the stroke the same width independent of the scale of that shape layer. There are manual ways to accomplish this, of course, covered in my Intro to Shape Layers video that you can watch by clicking this little card up here in the corner. But this function is quick and effortless. You can also explode shape groups of a shape layer into their own individual shape layers, or you can combine several different shape layers into one layer with these buttons here. Composition menu. You can auto crop the compositions to the content inside of the composition. You can even tell it which kinds of layers you want it to consider when cropping, and you can add padding to the crop with auto crop. Organizing your project. For messy projects, you can easily organize your projects by this default organization scheme, or you can customize the folder names yourself and hit apply, and Mobar will create the folders and place the corresponding assets into each corresponding folder. There are also project structure presets that you can create as well, depending on the type of project you're taking on or your preference, saving you time from having to manually create your structure yourself when you open up After Effects. As you can probably tell, this is by no means an exhaustive list of time-saving tools that Mobar offers. This is just a couple of the tools that I've been able to use on a regular basis and that I've really found save me a lot of time. Again, this is another tool that has so much to it that I can't go into everything in this video. So if you want a deeper dive into this video, let me know in the comment section below and I will add it to the schedule of YouTube videos for my channel. All right, that does it for today's video. Like I said in the beginning, there's links in the description of this video to all the products that we talked about today. And there are trial versions of all those products. So if you try them out and you decide that you want to purchase them, I'd really appreciate it if you use my link in the description, as I get a little bit of a commission off of that. It helps support the channel and I will love you forever. Also, if you found that this video was helpful or insightful or whatever, hit that like button. It helps get this video in front of more eyeballs. If you want more content like this in the future, make sure you're subscribed and you hit that bell icon so that you're notified when we post up a new video. If you want more videos like this where we can review products or we can review After Effects tools and we can do some deep dives into those tools, make sure you let me know in the comment section below so I'm aware that this is something you guys are looking for. All right, guys, thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video. Okay, in the spirit of full transparency, some of the links, kind of dizzy. Gotta stop doing this. Okay, this is the last